Welcome to the weekly portion of Tzav. Okay, the weekly portion of Tzav is the beginning portions of the book of Leviticus, deals with the sacrificial work at the tabernacle, and the Haftara, the weekly reading from the prophets, deals also with the sacrificial work, or actually the place of the sacrificial work in the eyes of Jeremiah when not accompanied by proper moral behavior. However, we are not going to read the first verse of the Haftara, because in the Haftarot, among the Haftarot, those weekly portions of the prophets that are read after the reading of the Torah, sometimes inside the Haftara we see skipping verses. So the Haftara ends with verses that are not directly following the ones that we start. So we start at Jeremiah 7:21 and we read till Jeremiah 8 verse 3, and then we skip all the way. We don't read Jeremiah 8:4, but we skip all the way to Jeremiah 9:22 and 23. And these are the verses we're going to read today. Shout out to my very good friend Jerome Camero, who likes these verses and reads them. So we will read them for him to enjoy the reading and a little bit of a grammatical discussion. And let's start. I'll read it once regular and again with a melody, and then we'll talk about the grammatical issues. So I'll read it first, both these verses. Ko amar Adonai, al yithalel chacham bechokmato, ve'al yithalel hagibor bigvurato, al yithalel ashir be'oshro. Ki im bezot yithalel hamithalel, haskel ve'yadoa oti, ki ani Adonai עושה חסד, משפט וצדקה בארץ, כי ואלה חפצתי נאום אדוני. So we read it once regular. I want to read it in the traditional melody. Just before we do that, I want to give you a quick update. We are going to soon start a few new groups of reading the book of Jonah, reading the book of Ruth, reading the book of Genesis, at least the first 11 chapters, the primeval history of the book of Genesis. If you're interested in any of these subjects, reading them in Hebrew, talking about the content, the grammar, talking about the meaning of these and how we can better understand the reading. So join me at Hebrew Truth. Send me an email or leave me a message. You can look at the description for more details. And now let's read with the Te'amim. Ko amar Adonai, al yithalel chacham bechokmato, ve'al yithalel hagibor bigvurato, al yithalel ashir be'oshro, kim bezot yithalel hamithalel, askel ve'yadoa oti, כי אני אדוני עושה חסד, משפט וצדקה בארץ, כי ואלה חפצתי נאום אדוני. You must have noted that in the last two words I did a different melody. That is the melody, that note in which we finish reading the Haftara. So I'll do it again. כי ואלה חפצתי נאום אדוני. And then we have the blessings after the Haftara. But let's talk a little bit about a few grammatical issues that we see here. So first of all, we've got Ko Amar Adonai. This is the messenger formula. This is a very common opening for prophecies, but not just prophecies. Every time someone delivers a message by someone, be that original origin of the message God. So we have a prophet speaking on behalf of God, or a messenger sent by a king, sent by someone else. Ko amar, either the Lord, if it's from God, or so and so. Ko amar achicha Yisrael. Ko amar Balak. Thus says so and so. Al yithalel chacham. Ve'al yithalel hagibor. Al yithalel. So first of all, we see the prohibitive al followed by yithalel. Yithalel here looks like a yiktor, but actually it's jasiv. The form that follows the jasiv, the al, the prohibitive, is a jasiv form, which expresses the will of the speaker, in this case as a prohibitive, creating a way to say don't. Here as more of a general command. In standard biblical Hebrew, usually general commands are formulated by lo, followed by a yiktor, and more specific commands are formulated by al. In this case, though, you can see, and possibly it is related to the fact that Jeremiah is already prophesying towards the end of the first temple period, you can see al as a more general rule, though, as well. So al followed by jasiv, al yitalel, ve'al yitalel, al yitalel. Note the variations. Here you've got the conjunction. Here you don't have the conjunction. Okay? Same goes with the noun or adjective that we use here. Chacham, gibor, and ashir. All of these are adjectives. Wise, mighty, rich, but they are used as nouns. You can see that very clearly with hagibor, the one who is rich. Okay, essentially the mighty, I mean. In poetry and prophecies like poetry, you don't always have that definite article, which is more common in the prose. So we don't have he chacham or he ashir, okay, but rather chacham and ashir, while we do have hagibor. So in poetry, sometimes we won't have the definite article, even though in prose we are more likely to have it. Then also the bet preposition. The bet preposition is used for various things. Here, as you can see, chacham bechochmato. You can see the root of the subject, and this prepositional phrase or adverb modifying the verb is using the same root as the noun chacham, which is the adjective that is used as a noun, or essentially the noun here, chacham. And then the same for gibor, bigvurato, again using the same root, 3 consonants, and ashir beoshro, all of them ending with the third person masculine singular pronominal suffix o. Note that if the noun is feminine, then we see the tav of the femininity resurfacing. So that's a little bit about the grammar here. Let's see a little bit here as well. Just maybe 1 or 2. Well, let's make it 1. We've already gone longer than usual. So note bezot as opposed to be'ele. Again, continuing with the preposition bet that we've mentioned. Why is this bet with a dot inside, with a dagesh, what we call a weak dagesh, and why is this one without? Okay, in manuscripts, by the way, there is a sign to mark letters that don't have a dagesh. It's called the rafeh. It looks like a horizontal line above the letter. However, we would expect both of them to have a dagesh theoretically, because both of them open a word, and at the beginning of a word, the letters bet, gimel, daled, kaf, hey, and tav usually take a dagesh, a weak dagesh. However, so here we can see that dagesh, but if that letter of these 6 letters, bet, gimel, daled, kaf, hey, and tav, beged kefet or begad kafat letters, is immediately preceded by a vowel, and here you can see the previous word ends with a vowel, and the 2 words are connected either by a makif or by the indication of the cantillation notes, the te'amim, then the beged kefet letter at the beginning of the next word is not really at the beginning, because the 2 words are said together. So the vowel at the end of the preceding word affects that bet, and it becomes v. So ki ve'ele rather than ki be'ele. If we were to pronounce these differently, let's say we would have this here. Let's say we would have this tam called yativ here, and we wouldn't have had the makaf here. Then it would be ki be'ele. Okay? Now, okay, if you got it, you got it. Very good. If not, it's not the end of the world. We can see it together in other verses as well. Riddle, let's finish with a question. The Torah in our weekly portion says that the priest must put on a linen robe and has to have linen undergarments. Okay, I want to ask you, and here you have two possible answers from the prophets. Which prophet among the prophets, or in other parts of the Bible, I'm already giving you a bit of a hint, if you know how the Hebrew Bible is organized according to prophets and writings, who saw a certain man dressed or clothed in linen. So we have two different prophets that could be the right answer. And have a blessed Shabbat and a beautiful next week. We are approaching Passover. I will send you an invitation to a kind of a Seder night or an open Seder, Sunday night U.S. time, and Tuesday morning U.S. time. We'll do two, so you can attend. Follow me, subscribe to this channel, and send me an email if you don't get my emails, so I can add you to the list. And I will see you next week.